That's Greg. That's my stupidity. All right, let's try all this again. Hello, Ed. My Monday is going just fine, other than trying to keep up. Um, hello, Cam. Hello, Greg. I guess all my previous talking and commenting went right into the ether. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Forgot to turn on the microphone. Well, I guess that helps if you want to hear me. So anyway, we've got Don here. He's got an audio or a iPhone 7 with audio IC disease, and we're gonna try to get him fixed up here. He's sitting right here with me. You can say hi to everybody on YouTube, which is a whopping total of 5 people at the moment.
Hi, I'm Don.
This is Don sitting here to my right. Somebody's been in this iPhone. There was a void sticker right over one of the pentalobe screws. Now, I will give them credit. They have done a good job in putting all the adhesive back in here, and done a very fine job of it. This is just as hard, if not more hard, difficult than opening up a brand new iPhone. All right, there we go. Now we got everything out of there. All right, so don't crack your screen in front of him, Cam. I'm not going to crack his screen. Don't worry. Even if I do, I've got another 5 or 10 screens right here beside of me. All right, let's see. We'll start down here. And I would never crack a customer's screen and then just tell him, hey, you're sorry, So I've got more screens over here to my left. So even if I did crack a screen, then there's really no worries. Let's see. I got 2 of them stuck together. This one here is the long one. Cam, I filed down the ends of this one, so I don't really care. It works just fine. It needed a little modification, but works fine after that. I had a T8000 it together. Oh, don't be gluing phone screen things. What are you doing, Cam? Don't be doing that. All right, let's see. Yeah, those are Phillips. And that's a pillow. My other smaller screwdriver. There it is. Okay. Hi, Marker Mate. How are you today? No, not the screen. The cover. You had to glue the cover on the iSesso? Sounds like some Chinese thing. I'm alright, Micromage. Right now we're doing an audio IC job for a gentleman named Don that's sitting here on my right. Everybody say hi to Don. Wish him a good day. I don't know if they can hear you or not, but if you talk in here.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. That's Don here. He's sitting here to my right, and he's a very nice gentleman, and we're going to see if we can get his audio IC disease fixed here in this iPhone 7 today. So how is everybody in the stream? Let's see. The little text and rubber thing on the back and front came off, bending the iSysmo. What in the world did you do to your iSysmo, Kim? I mean, you're not supposed to bend it like that, I don't think. Or at least I never have. Lewis can fix. Good evening from the UK. Well, welcome to the stream, Louise. Did I pronounce that wrong the first time? Is that Louis or Louise? That's Louise. Yes. Okay. My apologies for spelling or pronouncing your name wrong. But welcome to the stream. We are currently in the midst of removing this board from this iPhone 7 so that we can repair an audio IC issue. Gentleman named Don here with us that brought it in today, having trouble, common audio IC issue here. We're gonna get him fixed up. Why do we have... Okay, there's a piece of flex cable in here from somewhere. Yeah, this thing here goes somewhere, but the screen still... Oh, I see. We cut it. Okay, so we'll give you a new screen. Looks like I got in a rush and tore that off, I guess. Okay, so hey, appearing off, I'm just hearing just in time to see me being an idiot. Let's see. Alright, that's got all that. Push that back. We'll get this up. This is what happens when you try to go too fast, I suppose. I have too many jobs in my queue at the moment. What would you recommend as a cheaper alternative to the Hako for someone who is relatively new to microsoldering? They've got that, I think Pernoff might know the name of it, KSG, I believe it is, or KSGER. That's a pretty cheap little station. Now, I don't know, I don't know if it comes with the tips or it doesn't come with the tips or what, but I hear good things about it. Oh, Cam, don't worry about it. It's a screen. It's, it's no big deal. I should have been paying attention to what I was doing and not worrying about talking to the chat, but I'm trying to do everything, so anyway, so excuse me. Alright, I'm back. Let's see. Now, where's the tool here? Well, let's see. Yeah, you don't need to see that. I'll switch over to the microscope view once I actually start working on the audio IC rather than just peeling off the cover here. I need to find time to clean more things around my office there. But right now it's I guess the Christmas rush, and I'm doing everything I can just to keep up. Alright, so flip over to the scope view. And there's our audio IC. I guess that picture from the scope could be a bit better. I have to figure that out. Yeah, the TS100, I think that's one of the ones, and there's the Kesker unit that'll drive that. Okay, so first things first, we're going to get a little flux around the chip. We're not going to pull a Lewis and put 10 pounds of flux in here, because we just don't need it, especially on an iPhone. We're going to do a little preheating just to make it easier to get this thing off here, so we do not end up destroying the baseband CPU. Well, I don't guess it destroys it, but you'll end up whatever correct nozzle works for me. What are you? Oh, are you talking about helping Micro Mage with his soldering station? And right now I'm just I'm staying kind of far off the board right now, and just kind of preheating the whole thing, because when I go in here and try to pull this audio IC, I want it to be reasonably quick, but I also don't want to reflow the baseband chip, which is right underneath this audio IC, just on the opposite side of the board there. So I'm just giving everything a little bit of preheat, so that when we actually go in to take this IC off, then hopefully everything will work well and we will not float that other chip. So now it's time for the fine tweezers. We get in here and we're going to go up in temp just a bit here. We're going to turn the air down just a little bit. And now we're going to actually go in for the kill here. And I use something very similar to the drop method. The end of these tweezers are not actually bent, so I'm kind of constantly just pulling a little bit on the back and forth on the board rather than holding it entirely in the air, because these tweezers will slip off and they will crack this glass chip. If you can, I don't know if you can see it right now, but I've got the board pulled up just a little bit into the air. I'm going to let it down. I'm going to pick it back up a little bit. And this is taking just a little bit too long for my comfort. So I'm going to back off, let this cool down a little bit. And I'm going to go in right on top of it again. And I pick it up. And somebody is texting me as well. I don't want to get off there. I hate unleaded solder. There we go. Alright. Now we've got the chip off. And we're going to kind of rapid cool it a little bit in the, ouch, on the fume extractor over here. Yeah, I'm copying Lewis now. Use my fume extractor to rapid cool things. And then we're going to rapid cool it a little bit faster, even with a little alcohol, which, yeah, that'll pick up the flux, and or at least most of it, and leave a bunch of fun little Q-tip fibers all over everything. I really need to find the little pointed Q-tips that Lewis has come up with. Those seem to work really well. Alright, close enough for government work here. Alright, oh, I need to turn my soldering iron on. And I need to clean up my desk, get through some of these jobs. My goodness. Alright, so one of the things I learned early on doing these is I'm going to go ahead and clean up these pads a little bit with the micro pencil while things are still warm. And even then it likes to, there's a big ground plane in the middle here, and it likes to kind of soak up all the heat there and make a nice giant blob of solder that's difficult to get out with a micro pencil at least. Okay, you can see we lost an MC pad, and now it's the bottom left corner, but that doesn't matter, that's an MC pad. And I am not scraping on these pads. Like, I'm basically putting a ball of solder on here and letting the ball of solder do the work. Solder, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know. Don't care. Hey Travis, how are you doing? We're in the middle of doing an audio IC for a gentleman named Don, who's sitting right here next to me. And there's a pad pulled up. That was probably that MC pad we pulled off the corner a minute ago. Decided to make a debut back onto the top of the board there. Alright. One little pad with a bump on it. There we go. Okay, that looks good enough for me right now. We'll get this flux off of here. And we're going to set this aside before we run the jumpers. Glad you finally caught a stream. I'm doing okay. Travis, excuse me. It's just a busy day. I've got, if you can see my bench, I got an, let's see. The first row of stuff back here is a iPhone 6 with, it's got a Wi-Fi issue. Somebody had been in there and done an audio IC. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, that's not a 6, it's a 7 back here that somebody did an audio IC on. And it finally progressed to the point where the board is flexing enough that the Wi-Fi IC power pins from the Wi-Fi IC are pulled up from the board, so we're going to be maybe a little later today. Hang on just a second. Oh, I think this is That's a call or text from a fellow in New York. Okay, so we're still looking at this. All right, we can already see if we zoom in right here. That's pad C12 right there. Right here. This pad. This is C12. It's gone. It's toast. It's gone. Let me refocus. Alright, so we've got an NC pad over here that's gone. We don't care about that. I mean, it doesn't connect to anything anyway. But pad C12 right here, you can see the little trace. It's supposed to connect to this resistor, and it is just gone. And we were not ruffling this. There's one of those ground pads with a solder sticking out. Alright, here's the other pad that will fail. Alright. Then there's D12 right here that will fail. Then there's these other two. So normally I run 1, 2, 3, 4 jumpers on these. I don't usually do D12. Actually it would be A, B, C, D12. So D12 is right here. I don't normally do D12. I've heard people have started doing that, and we've had some issues with it. But on this particular one, I'm not going to worry about D12. I mean, clearly C12, it's just completely nuked and gone. So we're going to run a jumper. But what we're going to do first is let this board sit over here to the side. We're going to cool it down, or let it cool down, let it be cold, because if you end up doing that right after you pull the chip off of there, you're going to end up chasing that resistor up underneath that shield, and you're just gonna have a bad day with that. No, D12 cam is not Mikey Bus for headphones. That's power rail. Go look it up in ZXW. That's a power rail. One of the other, I want to say one of the other two lines up to the right of that. The C12 is the clock line. D12 is actually, I believe, 1V8 power rail. And I probably will not run that. Not on this one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Things get awfully crowded in there when you get, 5 jumpers run in there. I'm telling you, if you open up ZXW, here, look, I'll show you. Let me open ZXW. D12 is a power rail. I'm still on the microscope. I'm gonna let ZXW load, and then I'll flip over so you can see it. But right now I'm trying to clean off this chip here. And we're gonna reball this chip. And that's what I was kind of trying to say a minute ago, is if you set the phone aside after you pulled the chip off, then the phone will have time to cool down, and you're less likely to be chasing a resistor around up underneath that. Up underneath the shield there, which can be a real pain. Alright, so let's see. iPhone 7. And this one, I didn't really look, but let's see. That's an Intel chip. So we'll pull up the Intel diagram, and hang on just a second. Okay, so too many things going on here. Let me see if I can get OBS to show you ZXW. I think I just went black, or the screen went black. And it's not wanting to show for some reason. Let me see if I can add it. Window capture. Okay. Yeah, Mikey Buster J12 and H12. Yeah, okay. So can everybody see ZXW now? I hope. I'm gonna go in here and show you here. D12, that's PP1V8 SD RAM. Okay, that is not Mikey Bus. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the scope. We're gonna finish up reballing our chip here, which has gotten cold since Cam distracted me. Let me go over here and back to chat. Yes, there it is. Okay, good. Right, I'm glad that showed up. I'm still trying to get all my YouTube bits and pieces put together, and usually what happens is I just roll in here and start a stream and I'll wing it. And I will get better with that over time, I hope. If not, then maybe I'll just give up YouTube. But either way, Mikey Bus is not D12. That's one V8 SD RAM. And what was happening is apparently that's an important pin. That's a very important pin on the to supply power to that chip. Cam, there's 2 strikes already today. Be careful. Yeah, it's all right. Cam's a good guy. He might get confused sometimes, but he's a good guy. He needs to get a microscope and needs to start driving. Go past that driving test, Cam. Alright, so here's my stencil that of course I didn't clean last time. And it's got junk all over it, and you're not seeing the right thing. I'll just leave it on the microscope for now, because that's what we're getting ready to do here. Let's see. Oh my goodness, that thing is... Let me hit you in the knee there, Don. And it looks like it's time to order some new soldering wick, because that's the end of that roll. Alright, right now I'm gonna just be cleaning my stencil out here, if my iron will be... Yeah, I get confused too. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna make fun of anybody in here for getting things mixed up, but yeah, that definitely was not Mikey Bass. There's 2 to the right of D12. I forget the exact numbers. I believe like he said, it was J and H. But either way, that's a power line. And hang on, somebody keeps texting me here, and this is getting really old. But I think it's another job. 3 devices. Give me just 1 second here to respond to this because I don't want to lose any work. I hate typing on the phone. My daughter can type what seems like 400 words a minute on the phone. Me, I'm pushing with 1 finger. But it's like Lewis. I mean, um, um, Alright, let's see. So I gotta run off. Sorry about. I mean, this is just the way it is when I try to stream these days. But I need to run off here and try to find a price for a Samsung S10 screen here, because my website is somewhat behind. I think I updated them, but I want to be sure. So give me 1 second, guys, and I will be right back with you. Everything is just being really crazy today, which is always what happens when I try to stream. So let's see, S10. Oh. Okay. Now let's see. Back to the stream if I can figure out where I left it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, here we go. Alright. Nope. That's not the right one. Offline. Oh my god. I've lost my own stream. Here we go. Okay. Alright, so let's see. If my stencil's clean now, we're going to reball this audio IC. And it's still dirty, so. Oh my goodness. Somebody in my chat has brain cells. Can anybody want to loan me some? Oops. Let's see. That is not the right one. Let's see, what? That's an A10, okay. Now, I don't care. The pitch is right, and as long as we don't... Oh, actually, it is the right one. Okay. Except there's one tiny little bit of crud in there. Ah, come on. Can't grab the damn stencil. Oh, I guess I'm well, I was never monetized before anyway, so. What in the world is going on here? You have none left. Cam just frowns. Have you lost all your brain cells, Cam? Come on, man. You can do it. This stencil, I just do not like the way this is feeling. Let's see. That's not the right one at all. And neither is that, but I just do not like the way this thing is feeling here. Plus I've got that piece of junk right in the middle of it. Alright. Well, seems to be gone now. Isn't that fun? What in the world? Okay, I've officially lost my mind. Hello, Rugers. How are you doing today? Just to keep up and explain what's going on. Apparently, I have lost my mind, and I'm trying to reball this audio IC because we have a gentleman here that's got an iPhone 7 with classic audio IC disease, and this stencil is just standing way up off the top of this chip. Maybe I have something in one of the corners of it or something silly here. I don't see anything crazy in there. Let's try this again. Well, that's the one that's too big. Okay. I don't like how that feels. It's standing way up off the IC itself. And when it does finally kind of click into place, it's sort of off center there. So what in the world? I'm gonna turn it sideways. Sometimes that helps. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, now we're sitting good. Now we're going to get a little paste. We're going to reball this chip finally because I'm falling way behind and not being able to keep up and go quickly enough. All right, now this is straight up wet paste. I'm going to take my iron or my hot air and I'm going to try to dry it out just a little bit. I do this often. Wet paste really isn't too bad if you got your technique down right. But if you don't, it'll just squirt all the paste out all over the place. And what I've done by heating this up is push some of the flux out of the paste itself here and then wipe it off with a towel. Now this is still going to be fairly wet, but that's okay because I really should just make a video. Oh my God, my phone will not stop. I really should just make a video on this little technique right here. Watch, it's gonna, now that I've said all this, it's gonna make a fool out of me, but I get it in there, I smash it down into the holes good. You want them all nice and full of solder, and then just scrape off what's the excess that's left. Alright, and then we're gonna grab our tweezers. We're gonna hold this down. Now, when you do this, do not, let's see, I'm at roughly, 350-ish and about 40 or 50 airflow. And what I'm going to do, don't go straight in on this thing. High fingers, how are you doing? Rugers, it's cold here. It is plenty cold enough for me. So I'm going to stay way, way far back off of this stencil, okay? And I'm going to try to preheat the stencil itself and all around this chip. And when I finally go in there to actually do the reflow, you'll see they all sort of go really quick and really nice and really even. It probably takes a little bit more time. People get in a bit of a rush trying to reball these chips, and if you do that, what happens is the flux itself will boil, and it'll push the solder right. Here we go, bang. All right, now that wasn't quite as even as I really like it, so there's a couple of balls there that I really just don't like how they came out. Oh, I just dropped my tweezers on the floor. It doesn't matter because I have some more over here. This would probably work, but I see one or two balls in there that I just don't like the looks of, so we're going to do that again. Once again, I'm going to stay way back off this. I'm going to heat the stencil up, let the chip get hot. Also, the other thing is, with these glass chips, do not push very hard with your tweezers at all. You will end up cracking the chip itself. So, that's not good. They will not work when you do that. And boom. Okay, look at that. That's pretty. That's nice. That's even. That's what we want to see. All right. And with these 3D stencils, the chip just pops right out, and then we're gonna take and clean let's see, we'll get a little flux and go ahead and reflow it. Oh man, this is my set of tweezers that they are bent in all sorts of funny directions. Thank you, Rugers. We do our best here. We have some good days, we have some bad days, just like everybody else. Okay, and there we go. That's the final product. We're going to go ahead and take some alcohol and a toothbrush. We're going to brush this chip off because we don't want any kind of extra little bits of paste. The paste is made up of super, super tiny balls suspended in flux. So what you'll end up with is, if you're not careful, whoop, there went the chip. If you're not careful, you'll end up with those little solder balls all over the place, and they'll float around and they'll short things out, and that's not what you want. Alright, so we're at the point where we're going to set this chip to the side for a moment. And now comes the fun part. We're going to run these jumpers on this board. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Fingers. Alright, so let's see. Oh, that's blurry as can be. Alright, so the first thing we got to do here is we've got a couple of spots where we've got some balls sticking up still. And we're going to go ahead and knock those down. The micro pencil sometimes really has a hard time with these ground planes in here, so yeah. And the J100 tip, not really the best thing to be trying to do this with, so it does get interesting at times. Okay, and there's still one sticking up. Come on. Alright. That looks good enough. Alright, so now we're going to clean that flux off there. If I can aim with a Q-tip. You do a lot of SMD PCB assembly in my shop in the reflow oven. I absolutely love the Kester solder paste. MG Chemicals runs close second. The Kester is what I'm using here. This is, let's see, well, I should have to flip back. This is Kester R500. It's the Eutectic 3763. It's really good stuff. Yeah, the Kester stuff is really good. I love it. I'm not going to say anything bad about the mechanics solder paste, but this is, I mean, I have been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and Kester is, you know, that's what I like. It's what I use. And everybody else, feel free to, you know, dig around and find the one you like. So hang on just a second. I'm going to check my phone one more time because it will not stop beeping today. Oh. Let's see. Oh my God, it will not stop. Alright. Okay, back to the stream. Let's see. Kester gold, yeah. I was using cheap solder and switched to Kester. I noticed the difference instantly. Kester is 100% fire. Indeed, it is, Cam. Kester is really, really good stuff. They have been around for a very long time, and you will not be disappointed. Trust me. Alright, so it's time to run some jumpers here. So I have a couple of different techniques for this, and I haven't really decided which one I like better, but I'm still going to I'm going to try this one where I tack down the let's see, you can't really see that, can you? Or can you? Let me check. Yeah, alright, so you can see that, I believe. I'm going to tack the wire itself to the shielding here. I guess it helps if I have a little solder on there. Oh my God, my phone will not stop. That's what happens when I try to stream. Everything goes crazy, including my wire. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that one's finally roughly in the place I want it. Alright, and the reason that I do this, let's see, that wire's got a bunch of burnt flux on it. The reason that I do this is that, this is quite a tedious job to begin with, but with this wire tack down here, I now have more control over where the other end of this ends up. In other words, I'm just using one hand here, and I'm using the wrong set of tweezers in honesty, because I have got such a mess here in my desk right now. I need to take an entire day and just clean up all of my stuff. Here we go. Here's the slightly bent ones. Alright, these tend to help, and I can push this wire. With this bent like this, I can push this wire right up against this resistor. Okay. And then we can add a little flux in here so that we can get the solder to flow correctly. And then we're going to take our micro pencil, and boy, I'm shaking today. And we're going to attach this wire right here. I'm kind of scraping it just a little bit. And we're going to attach it to that resistor right there. Alright. So that's good. That's attached. Now we're going to take our scalpel, assuming I can find it. Yes, there it is. Alright. And we're going to slice this wire right off right here, right past the point where it goes onto that pad. Okay. I'm gonna curl it just a little bit. I don't try to do the full curls like some people do. That's just, I don't know. I have a hard time with it. I can do it, but I don't really think it helps all that much most of the time. And that was more curl than I wanted. Okay. Alright, so make sure that's still attached to the resistor, which looks like it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and retouch that up, because it doesn't look as nice as I want it to. Alright. And now pull off this end of it, and that's the trick, is pulling this end off without desoldering it from the resistor. Oh, I need something to drink. And there we go. Alright, so now we have that end pulled off. Right here, you're going to want to be real careful, because when you're bending this wire back and forth to disconnect it, I suppose you could just use the scalpel, but I am not pulling. Be very careful not to pull on the wire. You see it's bending right there at there we go. It's bending right there at the resistor. Alright, that's the first jumper we're done. Alright, for me the next jumper is one of the harder ones. We're going to go ahead and tack down another piece of wire. Let's see, we're going to cut the end of this off because it's just nasty. And this next jumper coming up here is one of the harder ones for me. The cap itself is sideways. The trace is off on an odd angle. And it can be done. It's just, yeah, right about there is where I want the wire. So now again, we're going to use, I got these little titanium tweezers, I believe they are, from I believe I got them from Union Repair. But trying to get this particular jumper to go where you want it to can be a real pain. And even though these aren't very good, if you're trying to pick up a component or something like that, these suck. They will bend, they will warp, they'll do all kinds of silly things. But trying to just push that wire in where you want it to go, that really helps. So now we're going to tack this one down to the end. We got to scrape the wire just a little bit right there to get it to go, to get the coating off of it there. And this is the part I hate. It's trying to solder onto the side of that capacitor. And it's really kind of not really what you want. You want it on the end if you can get it there. There we go. But if you're not careful, you'll end up soldering it to the cap right beside of it as well. And make a bridge there that's not good. Okay. Alright, it's soldered to the end. Are you hanging in there?
I'm just amazed.
No, see, that's the thing. I'm not any smarter than anybody else. I just have a different bag of tools, I did a different thing with my life, so it's not that I'm some kind of genius or any of these other people are geniuses. We're basically just janitors. We're going in here and okay, see, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that wire is moving at the top, and that's not soldered well to that resistor there. My phone is still beeping. So let's see, got something nasty on the end of my iron there. So we're gonna go back in here. We're gonna try one more time. In fact, this time, since there's really no leaded solder in there, we're gonna try to add a little without making a giant mess. And see if that helps us. Alright. Everybody got quiet on me. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. Okay. Now we're soldered down there good. Okay, so now we're going to take our scalpel. We're going to cut our wire again. Alright. And then once again, the trick is getting this end desoldered without causing this to become desoldered from the cap there. So I'm going to try, and I made a mess. Okay, this is the one that's really going to give me a hard time today. Okay, I believe that got it. We'll come back and straighten up the other end in a minute if we can get this to come loose right here. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see this. I know that I need to keep everything in the bottom half of my view here. Yeah, I love jumpers, Cam. Honestly, they're not too bad, really. I mean, if it's this one jumper right here that I really, really, really dislike, and it's because the angle it's on and trying to hit the side. Like this one over here, you're hitting the end of the resistor, it's pointing up and down, and that's no big deal. Like that's easy. When you're trying to hit the side of this one and not jump to the one to the right of it there, that one is difficult. Now we got two more down here. I believe these are the Mackie data bus lines you were discussing earlier, Cam. And I mean, most of the time they don't fail, but speaking of screens, you see what happened to me, previous version that repaired the screen, makes screws up, and when I do repairs, I make the screws tight. Turns out I had the wrong screw in the wrong place. Oh, you long screwed it, Cam. The wrong place and made me have a circle mark at the top of the screen. Luckily, I was just getting ready, so it has to be a test screen. Well, you know, that's how I got a couple of my test screens, too. I mean, well, not that exact thing, but, you know, screw up one little thing, and yeah, okay, now you got a test screen, so. Alright, so, once again, we're gonna, maybe, this will cooperate. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so we've tacked our wire down, and well, stacked down is not a very good place. I roughly try to line it up with where my jumper is going to be going. Yeah, sorry to hear about that, Kim. I mean, we've all done things like that, I'm sure. I mean, I'm human, you're human, we've all made mistakes, whether we want to admit it or not, so. I mean, it's just like this screen here, I just, you know, oh, hey, where'd that flex cable come from? Oh, well, it's clearly just been torn off the screen by me, so. I mean, it's no big deal since I have other screens sitting here. You know, we'll get the gentleman a new screen, and life will go on. But you know, things happen. All right, that's J12, I believe. I forget the exact number. I just know which place to do them at, so. There's that one. Alright. I'm gonna buy some black UV and try to fix where the paint is missing from the screw mark. Well, that's up to you. I mean, personally, when I screw up a screen or something like that, and it has any kind of blemish on it at all that I can see, then I put a new screen in. But each to his own. I mean, that's I'm not gonna try to give you a hard time over trying to save a few bucks. I mean, it's money, you know. We all need to make our money. We all need to Well, that needs some more flux, bad. Puh. I need to get something to drink. Feels like my throat's about to dry up on me here. And I know I've got several text messages that I have not answered just yet. So they're going to have to wait. Okay. Alright, so there's our last jumper. Now, I have lost my wick. Oh, here it is. Okay. So now we're gonna clean up where I've made a mess on the side of the shield here. Don't leave that there. Go ahead and wick that away. Oh yeah, for sure I'm going to be using the screen on a customer device. See, that would be something I'd keep for myself, but like I said, you know, I'm not going to give you a hard time over something like that. Okay, so we need to make sure that one is just about to come loose, so I'm going to go back and retouch it up here. Got too many Q-tip hairs in there. Now that one's stuck to the end of my micro pencil here. There we go. Alright. I don't know where this is coming from. There's some few little bits of white stuff in here that seem to have come out of nowhere. Okay, so now let's see. We've got one little bump from the pad over here, and the rest of them look okay. So we're gonna knock that one little sharp spike down. There it goes. Get that one. Alright. Now it's time to put the tip back on. So we're going to give it a little bit of flux. We don't want to give it a whole lot because if you give it too much, the tip just wants to float all over the place. I like to just barely get things covered. Good enough. And I'm going to double check ZXW just to make sure I get this chip in the right orientation. A1 is in top left corner with the board turned with an NAND to the right. So, like this, A1 is in the top left hand corner. And our chip is right here. Alright, and I don't know if everybody can see that or not, but the little arrow in the top left corner there, that is pin A1. And there's more random junk floating around in here. Okay, so okay, roughly right there. It's a little close to the NAND side. And if you're not careful and the thing jumps too far, it will pull your jumpers out of place. So I'd rather err on being a little further away from the NAND than too close. So that looks pretty good right there. It's gonna jump down just a little bit. Oop. That's always the fun part with this stuff. That looks pretty close. Alright, so we're gonna go back in. Oh man, I can't see the chat or anything because I have ZXW open. Micropencil was hungry. Yes, it was. No, Cam, I'm not. I don't usually do that. I used to with M1 jumper on Mason, and sometimes I still do because that one's kind of it likes to float around. But with these jumpers on this, I find that often my the UV mask actually gets in the way, so I tend not to UV these. But I am going to go in kind of slow and preheat everything again, because I don't like just coming in here and just blasting the crap out of the audio IC. Or anything else for that matter. And I can see this one's sitting. See, it got sat too close to the NAND, and it's probably going to pull all these away when I do this. So, see if we can. It's not stuck yet, so let me see if I can slide this over a little bit more, because that's the one thing that'll get you. And it is stuck. Okay, that's not happening. That's the one thing that'll get you, is that if the chip jumps away from the NAND, that's when the jumpers will all go with it. And there we go. All right, we float into place, and there's the second jump. Give it a little bump here. Yep. All right. So I can also see that my jumpers are all still there. And they're all still going to the right place. This one here, that's a little bit close to that other cap. But there's a gap there. And so I will go ahead and try to fill in that little gap with a little UV mask here. Yeah, this is always fun. Gravity does not like to work, as Lewis says, when you get down at this level. And right now I'm just mostly trying to it's going to cover a lot of that, but mostly trying to get that right there. Alright, so everybody look away so you don't go blind. We don't want to blind everybody with the UV light coming out of your monitor. And I'm going to dry that off real quick, or dry it up. Hello, Iman. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, but welcome to the channel. It's good to see you here. And thank you. Alright, so that should be enough to cure that up. Alright. And so we have all our jumpers in place. Everything looks good. Alright, we're going to... let's see. I'm having a really crazy day. So... we're going to... first thing we want to do is get all our flux out of here, or at least as much as we can. I'm not going to put this board in an ultrasonic cleaner. I mean, I could, but it tends to mess with other things, and you got to take all the shields off, and it's just not worth it. I would rather just try to clean it up as best I can. I mean, this is no clean flux anyways, but I'd rather just try to clean it up the best I can with toothbrush and Q-tip, and let that do its thing, because that usually gets things pretty clean, and a little hot air to dry it off. Okay, so you can tell I've been in here and there's flux in here, but I can also see all my jumpers are okay. And while I would like that to look a little better, in fact, I'm going to try to make it look a little better. This is no clean flux. If you put in an RA flux, an active flux or something like that, I'll show you some Kester flux that I have. It's really good. If you've got a corroded board and you're trying to do a flexion boil or something like that, then this stuff's really, really great for removing corrosion and things like that. If you got a pad that you're trying to recover, this stuff is great. But if you leave it on there, it will absolutely eat the board. It will eat it will look like a water damaged board by the time you're done with it. So, okay, so now we're going to move back over to, we're going to move back to the overhead cam here. Alright, and so this is done, and now you can see my giant mess, of course. Now, one of the tricks, now I learned this from Jason Vilmer. I always put these covers or these little stickers back on. They're actually embedded with a very fine metal mesh, so it's actually an RF shield as well as this plastic, the white plastic bit on the inside will keep anything from shorting out. So one of the tricks that I learned from him, and I don't remember how long ago this was or what, but nevertheless, the trick is to go ahead and stick it on there, and they don't really want to stick on there very well, and you don't have to heat it a lot, but heat it from fairly far away and get it good and warm. And then we'll flip the board over like that and just push down on it. Okay, and what that does is let the glue that it was holding that in place, it makes it soft, and when you push down on it like that, it will stick back on there. And look at that. It barely looks like, I can see a little tiny bubble here, but does that look like anybody's really been in there? So now it's time to get my flux out of the way, get this out of the way. We're done micro soldering this bit of stuff, and I've got too many things on my desk. So this goes here, this goes up here, and there's a cover for these somewhere that I lost it. There it is. Okay, so try to keep my small tweezers in this little. I try to keep the covers on them and things like that. So, alright, so we're going to put this back together here. see. Make sure, yeah, that one's on top. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I like using these better. Okay. So what's everybody doing today? I mean, is everybody at work? Is everybody getting ready for Christmas? Nobody's talking. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to get through a lot of this work, and I mean, I can't take too much time off because I'll drive myself insane, but I'm definitely ready. I'm taking, I think, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, if I can manage to do that without going crazy. Otherwise, I may end up in here working on Christmas. So you got a month off. What in the world are you doing to yourself with a month off? I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just lose my mind if I had a month where I didn't have to do anything. Waiting on my daughter and granddaughter to visit. See, that's, that I can handle. That, I mean, I don't have any grandchildren yet, thank goodness, but that's what I want to do with my holidays, is visit my family, and I'll probably go out and see my dad and see my brother and things like that. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. And I'm only going to take 1 or 2 days for it, because if I do, or if I take more than that, spending money on the kids, yeah, I could see that. Although, I think in a lot of ways people, sort of lost the meaning, I want to go see my family. I want to spend time with my family and things like that. I don't really believe in, let's see, there, yeah, this is the one I want. I don't believe as much, and of course I'm old too, so I mean, we stopped giving each other Christmas presents and things like that a long time ago. We just get together and, we might cook out or go out to dinner or whatever and spend time with the family and all that. But things have become very commercialized. I mean, everybody wants you to buy the latest, greatest things. Let's see, my wife and agree we should have the grandkids first, as we would have more energy. Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's funny. Start with the grandkids, do the kids second, huh? I don't know. I'm glad. I mean, I have a buddy that I work for in Florida, and he's 47, I believe, and he just had a kid a year or two ago. I had mine back when I was 26, 27, I think, somewhere around there. And I mean, my God, I wouldn't. There's no way I would have the energy today at the age that I'm at now to keep up with my kid. So let's see. Let's get these. Boy, everything's blurry, and I need a button or whatever on my on this in order to be able to flip back and forth. But I'm just putting these connectors back together. Let's see. All right, Greg says, yeah, here in Canada, December 26th, aka Boxing Day, was the big sale day. But that has been supplanted by Black Friday deals in November, where merchants wanted people to spend money in Canada rather than the U.S. Greg, they started Christmas stuff. My wife works at Walmart, and they started Christmas stuff in July. I think, I don't know. It's insane. I mean, we used to have, back when I was a kid, we would have, you'd have, actually, I think it's Labor Day, or what's September? Yeah. Maybe I may be getting that mixed up. But at the very least, we had, Halloween and Thanksgiving, and all the Christmas stuff did not start till after that. And now they have gotten to the point where people are going out, they're eating, Thanksgiving dinner, and saying their thanks, and they're, doing all that, and they then get done with Thanksgiving dinner and go to the mall or whatever, and then they go argue and fight with each other over things to buy for Christmas. And honestly, I think it's just silly. I'm going to, you will never see me, after I've eaten Thanksgiving dinner, running around at the mall fighting with silly people over silly things. It's just not going to ever happen. I don't care what kind of deal you make me after I'm done eating Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to be sitting at my house with the rest of my family, and we're all going to be sitting around and talking and having a good time, and letting all the other fools out there in the world fight over the next Xbox or TV or whatever stupid thing that they want to fight over. Because I'm not going to have any part of that. I'm not going to play any part in that. It's just not who I am. I'd rather sit there with my family and enjoy talking, and we can have a good time with each other and not worry about what the rest of the world is fighting over to try to buy for Christmas, because I really just don't care. Alright, so we've got this phone. Let's see, I'm behind on chat. Let's see. Now my daughter and granddaughter are here, so I have to go, but we'll talk later. Oh, I'm sorry, Ed. We'll see you later. Enjoy your time with your family, though. Let's see. I need a screen here. I think this is the 7s. Yep, there's the 7s. Okay, and which color do we have? Black. Yep. Oh, there went the end of the thing. Alright, so Halloween started in late September, then after Halloween, Christmas stuff would come out. Yeah. I mean, used to, back in the day, we would have, okay, before I put the new, I've got to move everything over here so that this became a screen job, since I got done and ripped the cable off of there. But anyway, before we do that, we're going to test and just make sure that we can. Oh, come on, these. Oh, I'm silly. You guys are looking under the microscope still. I promise you, at some point in time, I will get better at YouTube. So we don't have a camera, we don't have a home button or anything, but we're going to plug in the battery here, and we're going to hope it has some charge. Oh, I think this is actually, what I was looking for my tweezers earlier. Alright, so Cam, it's a refurbished screen. Yeah, I know I'm on. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's see. I'm gonna switch over to. Oops, went the wrong way. Alright, we're on overhead. Alright, so we got the Apple logo. That's Philips. This is that one. And it's already making me nervous because of how long it's taking to boot. Meanwhile, though, the screen looks a little rough around the edge. Yeah, Cam, that's all I use is refurbs. I don't mess with aftermarkets or any of that. There's no point in it. I want, when somebody leaves here with a new screen on their phone, I want them to come back for some other reason besides, well, my screen has crazy colors. And, oh, yes, Cam, thank you. I forgot. Yeah, I didn't have the home button in there. Well, I mean, I didn't forget, but I wasn't thinking that's why it was taking long to boot, because for whoever doesn't know, if you take, or if the audio IC is messed up, that will cause a long boot time as well. And the home button will as well. But so they both will do that. And now, well, I really need to get I need to get some keyboard shortcuts or something set up. That is taking a very long time to boot still. Well, while we're waiting on that, there's the home button. We're gonna move over, and I'll go ahead and get the oh, did it, Cam? I missed that. Oh, I hope it doesn't loop. That means one of my jumpers is goofy. Hope it didn't loop. I don't want it to loop. Did it blink once, or they will blink? I mean, partway through it gets, I guess, brighter. But if it turns off, like if the apple disappears and then comes back, then that's bad. It's weird. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. So, I mean, of course, we've got unable to activate Touch ID and whatnot, but that's because we don't have a button on it. So, anyway, let's get this. Man, I've got most everything taken care of here. We're gonna shut this down. And let's see, I'm way too zoomed in. So we're gonna get this screen back out here. We'll stick a home button in it. Maybe. There we go. Hey Tim, how are you? Hope you're doing well today. I'm not sure if you were streaming or not when I started, but my apologies if I took your streaming time there. Oh, it was not. Okay, good. So explain to me, Cam, or Tim, you guys are constantly calling each other traitors, and I'm sure it's a meme of some type, but I never understood it. Why does the turtle look cracked, or is that the reflection? What? Okay, hang on, let me... I didn't notice turtle looking cracked, but let me back up here and we'll see. Turtle is not cracked. It's sort of got that glue around it there, so it may be a reflection or something like that, but turtle is definitely not cracked. So we're going to continue on. Let's see, which view am I in? Overhead or microscope or I don't know. I have to get my buttons right. We're still on the scope, aren't we? Okay, so back to overhead. And turtle was not cracked, Kim. Get back to where I can see you guys. So everybody's spamming each other and calling each other traitors and... Alright, I get it. Tim spams me, I spam Justin. Hey Tim, we just got back. Okay, so you guys are all just being silly. Alright, I get it. I figured it was something like that. Wait, spam trader Justin gets really mad at us. Being young, yes, I believe they're being young. How old are you, Cam? 16? Yeah, Justin's a good guy. We love him too. Okay, so now we just got the rest of this camera assembly to move over. We're going to turn our air temp down here a little bit. And I guess we'll go back to the microscope. Alright, so what we've got is the rest of this assembly up in here. I mean, I'm sure Cam and the rest of you guys know how to deal with all of this. I find it to be quite a pain when I get one of these stuck in a top here though. I'm gonna get out of there. And it doesn't help that my tweezers are all... Let's see, I'm gonna turn this around. It doesn't help that my tweezers are all janky here. I'm gonna try a better set of tweezers. But this one is stuck in there rather well. My goodness. It's the most stuck one I have seen in quite some time, actually. So much so that I'm not going to use those tweezers to do it, but I'm going to use these other tweezers, and I am going to straight up just bust the bracket off of there instead of trying to tear up this flex cable. Because we don't care. I give no craps if I break the little... Yeah, there we go. It's this part here I don't want to break. Okay, I don't want to break any of this. This plastic ring here, I do not care. I've got more of those. The new screen's got one in it. I don't care what happens to that thing. Okay, so now we end up needing a little heat here because the rest of this is all stuck down, glued down, whatever you want to call it. And I can't see chat again, so let's see. Yeah, Cam, I know heat. Like I said, I'd save the heat for down here. I don't want to bust the camera up there or anything, but I mean, if I bust that stupid, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just that plastic. Yeah, let's see, I need more heat here. I don't care if I bust that little plastic ring there. They're in the new screen already. It's all good. Okay, so there's our flex assembly, still all in one piece. I forget. I need multiple camera views, really. I need one that stays on the overhead, and then I guess the microscope as well. Or maybe I just need to get better at YouTube. I mean, that might be a thing too. You use heat for all of it. Yeah, I don't usually use heat when I'm trying to take that particular, let's see, what is that, the proc sensor? Yeah, so I don't normally use heat when I'm trying to take that out, but I will just, if it's giving me a fit, then I will straight up just bust off the little plastic thing that goes in there. And I don't care. I mean, it's going to be, they're already in, like, as you could see, there was already one in the new screen, so who cares? Like, it doesn't matter at that point. This is the part I always love, trying to kind of fit that speaker down into the rubber grommet. That's always a little fun. And then sort of holding everything there until you get the bracket on top of it. Oh. Alright, there we go. Okay, I need to go back to overhead again, don't I? Oh, come on, mouse. You know, wireless things in this shop, I don't know why, but wireless things are having, like, they always have a really bad time in here. So now we've more or less got that in there enough that I can let go of it and everything won't go flying across the room because it's spring loaded. Okay. Now we've got this gentleman a new screen in here because I was stupid and broke the last one. Yeah. Hi, Crazy Jay. How are you doing today? Oh, I hate it when I get one of these misaligned just a little bit. There we go. Oh, and that was, I don't know what I'm thinking here. I don't like to do these at the bottom first because this one at the top is always the most painful one to try to get in there. It's got that curl in it, and it just doesn't matter which way you hold it or twist it or fold it. I have yet to find an easy, good way to get it in there. Yeah, I guess I lied a little bit. Let that one in pretty quick. Okay, so those are Phillips over there. I always forget which ones they are. I wish that Apple would, I mean, why do you have Tri-Wings down here, Phillips here, you know, Standoff under here, Phillips under there, Tri-Wing back over here, more Phillips. I mean, just make them all Tri-Wing, make them all Phillips. I don't care, but there's no point in making random battery plugged in, making random, you know, like, just make them all one type. I don't care. You know, make them all Tri-Wings. I don't care. Make them all Phillips. I don't care. That if you make them all flathead, I might come and visit you with a rather unpleasant present. But anyway. Okay, here we go again. There's our Apple logo. And if this all works right, then all we've got to do is we'll put the battery cover back on, we'll put the SIM card back in. Okay, that looks like it's sort of booting right now. Hey, quick boot. Alright, so now I didn't see. I'm going to take this off the screen for a second because I'm going to dial my own phone number here. 270. Yeah, I'm about to say it out loud too. Oh, yeah, and okay, so if you want to dial a phone number, guys, it really, really helps to have a SIM card. Everybody having fun laughing at me? Alright, searching LTE, AT&T. Alright, now we're going to try to call my phone number, 270. Okay. No, it's fine. Yeah. Nope. Oh yeah, no, it's calling. Hi Dan, how are you? Is it time to? Oh my goodness. 4:30. 9/11. No, I don't want to dial 9/11. All right, so that part's working now. On this particular phone, it's on 13.1 something. I don't know, but the what am I trying to say? The voice memos. I don't know where they went. They seem to be gone. So I don't have that to test on this one. But I think let's see, let's make sure Wi-Fi, let's see. Wi-Fi is okay. Bluetooth is working. Cellular is obviously working. Let's see. What's they gonna do about? Oh, let's see. Make sure the IMEI and whatnot is still there. Oh, I think I've.
It's rough business, so you'll pay him. It's a weird situation.
Guys, it's it is. This thing should be working. It is just about time that I'm gonna have to get out of here, and I appreciate everybody watching. So I'm gonna end it here. I appreciate everybody watching, and this should be working. We will see you next stream. I appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you very much. Yep, take care. Thank you, Fingers, for showing up. And we are out of here. Goodbye, everybody.